Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Here we are for the next part with my interview with Lori-Ann Muenzer. So, what did you realize about yourself along your journey, that becoming? Who did you recognize who you have become when you got to that gold medal?
Well, to be honest, I really wasn't paying attention. I didn't think it was about me. I thought it was about the gold medal and getting in the training and
Yeah.
putting all the check marks in. It's only been after winning the gold medal that I really have learned more about me, and I'm learning more and more about me even today. And I know tomorrow I'll learn more because I have been on, and I was on the treadmill for 18 years. It was go, go, go. What was next? What was next? And I wasn't always in the present moment. I was always worried about, would I have enough money? Could I get to the next race? Could I put food on my table? Am I going to have to work more or whatever it was? And I find that when I slow down a little bit more, when I think about how do I want to spend my day, but more specifically, what do I want to be doing with this day? Who do I want to be spending my time with before work or after work? Who are the people at the gym that I want to connect with? And I've met so many amazing people. I'm on the radio twice a week with Sports 1440, Mondays at 10, and then Fridays at 2:40 p.m., plus or minus a little bit. And there's people that I get to connect with that they've heard me on the radio, but I didn't know they were listening. And they'll say, you inspired me by something you said that gave me a different perspective. And it's been about learning what other people's perspectives are and just how we're all interconnected. But how do I want to be just today? And am I going back to my comfortable habits, or am I going to stretch and push myself outside of my comfort zone?
Wow. What powerful messages you've been sharing with us today. And, there's this one part that I keep coming back to, and I purposely put the sticky and now I took it away because I read from the book. But there was a section, let me see if I can find it here, but it was about I never quit, but I quit.
Mhm. Yep.
What was it that you quit?
I quit cycling. I quit cycling on more than one occasion. I got hurt like bad, broken collarbone, tendonitis of my knees, ruptured appendix. I didn't quit then. But I've run out of money. I've put myself into debt. I'm like, yeah, I'll pay for it later. I'll pay for it later. Not setting in a plan of what am I going to do to pay it back, or how am I going to figure this out? Oh, I'll just figure it out. And so many of us do that. And it's like, don't do that. That's a really dumb idea. That's like a SMART goal, right? Don't do it. And it's like, you know what? Sometimes there's nothing else more that you can do. And there was nothing else more I could do to make it happen. I was trying to force it, I was trying to make it. And I realized, you know what? I can't do it. I can't keep going. So back to the drawing board I went, and I thought, I'll figure it out, but I've got to come back to the fundamentals. I've got to come back to the basics. And I know with people I talk with, some of their experiences are the same. They've had some great businesses, they've had some unsuccessful businesses. They've tried to write a book and it didn't go anywhere, but then they wrote another book and they just kept going. Sometimes we have to stop, go back to the basic, which means going inside and going, what do you want to do? How do you want to do it? When do you want to do it? Who do you want to do it with? And you start remapping it out again. And sometimes those, Deborah, are the greatest gifts.
Yeah. I love that you say that, because you never quit, but you quit. But you quit doing things that were not serving you and went back to the basics. And I think that's the most fundamental thing, because you never quit on your calling. You never quit on what was important to you.
Yeah. And sometimes we have to parking lot the idea but it's still there. And the problem with a bicycle is it is always waiting. Its tires may be flat, the rubber may be cracked, doesn't matter. Your bicycle is always waiting. And that's the cool part. Little kids ride, old guys ride. Never ever trust an older veteran rider when he says, let's go out for a 2 hour ride. I went out with Mr. Rocco, this Italian, and he said, we'll go out for a 2 hour ride and we'll have coffee. Well, what that meant was we went out for 2 hours, we had coffee, and then he pulled me home for another 2 hours. So
My
yeah, it
goodness.
was not so short. So the other thing I've really learned is to ask more questions. If I could tell myself, my younger self, one piece of advice, keep going with the energy thing, but ask more questions. Don't just jump in and figure it out. Ask a few more questions, still jump in, but ask even more questions.
I can talk to you for hours. I have so much more I could be talking to you about. We'll have to table that for another podcast. But right now, I just want to ask, was there any book along your journey that has inspired you, other than the one you wrote, that has really helped you get through some of your challenging times?
Oh, great question. There's so many books. I would love to say Think and Grow Rich is one of them, and it's true. Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
If you're not sure of where to start, pick up that book and start. It has the whole plan. Parts of what I teach are in there. It's a great book. Sometimes it's not just about reading another book. It's not about doing another course. It's more about, I would say, getting quiet. And that could be meditation. It could be doing a walk, being outside in nature. For me, getting quiet, because I have a real high level racing mind, that sometimes it blows other things out that I can't hear or I don't understand or I miss. And for me, when I get quiet, I spend 5 minutes every morning. I sit in my chair, my feet are grounded, and I still my mind, because the worst thing you can do to tell me is slow down or be quiet. Because I was told that as a kid so often. I'm okay if you change slow down to slow things down. Then my mind has something to work with. But when I start to control my mind, can I just focus on my breath? That has been the biggest thing. And it's funny, Deborah, because when I was racing, I did yoga. Through yoga, I learned to do a little bit of meditation. A lot of meditation for me doesn't work, but I brought that in. And that was not a part of my coach, what he wanted me to do. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. You go do that and I'll go do something else.
Yeah.
But for me, it was listening to my inner voice, that angel that said, follow this because it feels good. And I'll tell you and everybody who's listening here, if you have that inner voice and it says, go here, call this person, connect with this person, stop and slow down, listen to that voice. That is your intuition. It's not your gut, it's your intuition. And that is your true guiding system that will lead you on the right path every time. When the devil, the monster, the dragons come out and starts beaking off, just grab it, parking lot it, and just get quiet and go inside and ask yourself, what do I need? And be persistent but kind with yourself. And I found that as I got kinder with me, just understanding who I was, but just being quiet so I could hear the voice without the noise. Oh, you're a gold mine. Whoever is listening, you are a gold mine. You've got the answers inside, but we're always looking outside. Go inside because the answer you need is there. And it's about getting rid of all the outside noise.
Mic drop moment. I just want to have people pause and really let that sink in.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just, when was the last time you took a deep breath in? Even 2 deep breaths. Because I used to, just breathe here from my neck to my collarbone. Like that's it. That's when we're holding stress. And that's when we're not going to be open to flow or being in harmony or balance or being open to receiving. And I always know that if I'm not breathing enough, that I need to stop and press pause and go, okay,
Yeah,
take a
it's
deep
so
breath
and
in.
so important. We want all those synchronicities to come our way.
Yes. Yeah.
Lori-Ann, what does it mean to you to live rich from the inside out?
Mm. Rich from the inside out is me being okay with me, not me trying to be somebody else or trying to fit into a different mold. It's being rich is me being happy with who I am, what I'm doing, what I'm going to be doing, who I'm speaking with, and just being present.